Boom, and we're live. Oh, I hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday afternoon. It is rainy, drizzly, nasty here in southern Missouri. But we needed it. It's been hot and dry, and we need that rain. So I'm glad it came. All right, it is Monday afternoon. Monday is sticker design day, and today we are going to do some capybara stickers. So last week, while we were brainstorming the Patreon and C Street Market stickers for the month, we came up with this idea to do basically 3 different sticker sets were brainstormed. One was picked. This was an idea that came up with Capybara. And so that's what I'm going to do today. The thing with the sticker packs was that everybody wanted all 3 of them. Only one can be the official sticker pack of the month, but the others can be made and sold. You can give me money for things. I will accept it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to turn these cute little hamster dogs into spooky Halloween trick-or-treater kids. That's the goal. That's what we're going to work on. I hope everybody thinks that's a wonderful idea because too late. I already decided I'm going to do it. All right. So I guess without too much further ado, I did go ahead and grab some reference art. I always like to have reference art when I'm working. That's something that I think is important for me at the very least. So I went ahead and grabbed some reference art and put that out here. So I got some little capybara dudes, and I got to figure out what costumes I want them to be wearing at this point. That's really what it comes down to. We need to do 5 capybaras to do a sticker pack, and we'll see how that goes. I think I'm going to start it off with just sketching in a rough little capybara sketch first, and we'll see where we are once that gets started. So let's jump in. We'll give him a little nose. We'll just do a little warm up sketch for me. Just something to really bring home the capybara-ness of the capybaras. They're basically hamster dogs. That's how I always think of them. I don't know that enough people recognize how awesome they are with their little cappy selves. I also grabbed a screenshot of their feet so that I would know exactly how many little toes they have, because something that always comes up when I'm drawing, especially this sort of thing, is like, how many toes does this critter have? Came up with dogs. It came up with cats. It's just a thing that comes up on a regular basis for me. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just doing a real rough warm up sketch to get my hands ready to go, basically. I like this animal. I like the capybara as a creature because they are very zen. I always think of them as like nature's monks. One of my favorite videos I've ever seen is a video of a capybara, and it's just kind of chilling out, hanging, relaxing, acting all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of school. And seagull is, I think it's a seagull. It could be a pelican. One of those ocean birds with a big head is giving him a hard time, trying to eat his dome. And the capybara is like, you know what? You can try to eat my head all you want. My head is too big for your beak. That's my natural defense, is my head is too big for your beak, so you can't eat me. And I was like, you know what? I think capybara are like the opposite of anxiety. They are naturally zen, naturally chill little dudes. And that makes me like them a lot. So that's when I decided I loved them and they would always be part of my life. And I'm not alone. There's a lot of people. A lot of people have really embraced the Cappy style because they are chill little dudes. They just kind of hang out and be little rodents. Well, be giant rodents, really. Just exist. Also, if you look at them, look at these little guys. Look at them. How cute is that? Like, you can't go wrong with that. So there's our little warm-up sketch. Just kind of thrown in there. We can maybe just like come in here and give him a little beret. Just make him a little artist. Make a little artist capybara. A little cappy artist. Got his little beret on. You know, maybe just drawing a little handkerchief or something. Oh, this is all just warm-up sketching. And it doesn't mean anything. So maybe we should get started. Maybe we should get started on an actual costumed capybara so we can get as many of them done as possible today. And the one in the thumbnail is inside a pumpkin, but I think I wanted to have one dressed as a pumpkin. So I'm going to give myself a little positioning template so that I can work on them all roughly the same size, same shapeishness, something like that. And then we'll just come in here and maybe do a little. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's go ahead and just draw in a little body outline like this, little feet, and big old head. Just so we have like a little mannequin that we can reference off of as we're working. Nothing serious, just a little reference mannequin. So we can come in here. We'll start with a big round head looking like over here. Just come off here like this. Give him his little nose. Come out. This little body down here, little piggy body. Again, little furry pig guys. I think I always call them like giant hamsters, but I think it would be more accurate to refer to them as giant guinea pigs. And they got 4 toes. We know that. We know they got 4 toes because I got a feet pic. Also, I am now forever a guy who Googled capybara feet pics. So, you know, that's on my resume, I guess. Okay, and then let's see. What type of costume do we want to start with here? I think I'm going to start with the easiest one, which is a capybara dressed as a pumpkin. I know I want one. I know the one that I did for the thumbnail image is not what I want. But that's a capybara inside a pumpkin, basically. So I'm just gonna like do a little outfit like that. Little come up here and do the same thing up here, like this. Give him his little eyes here. That's the mouth zone. Shoulder zone. Hi! Next, can I do a ghost? Absolutely! I sure can. I would love to do that. We need to give him something to do with his hands. I think because he's the first one, he's gonna be my guy who's waving. We will certainly do a ghost next. That sounds great. And this hand, I'm just gonna have it actually kind of coming down and hanging behind him. So he'll just have one hand because his other hand is hanging behind him. We'll thin that down. I don't need this mannequin right now. Bring that down like that. All right, let's do some detail sketching. So I'm just going to come in here and give him this this little round heart nose thing. They've got the heart nose going on, in case you can't see that. And then we'll just come down here and wrap this around into a little smile. Bring this one back around like this. Just give him a little bottom lip there. Pull this back. I'm going to go ahead and draw in his hat first so that I can place everything in proportion to that, basically, is what I'm trying to do. So we're just going to sketch in his little hat. I think I'm going to add one more pumpkin roundy spot there. Just like that. And we'll just add a little top like so. And now there's a little eyes. We got our sketching here. So one eye there, one eye would be there. And I'm actually going to clean this up a little. I'm going to change the way I did this so we can have the eye looking over the top of his nose. There we go, like that. And then no real neck. Hey, what's up? We're just doing a little sticker pack this week to design for Capybaras. So one of the designs that came up as a possibility last week on the October design stream for the weekly stickers in October was the idea of Spookybara, of Capybara wearing costumes like our dogs and cats we've already done. And it did not win the October theme, but I still really liked the idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and do them. And they won't be the weekly stickers, but they'll exist. And it'll be a lot of fun having them. So that's what we're working on right now. We're doing a little ghost or a little pumpkin capybara first, and then we'll do a little ghost capybara. And see where the day takes us, really. Okay. His little arm. He's got his little foots coming out like this, so he can have his little waving hand. In each of these sticker packs, I have at least one character who's waving, and I'm going to try real hard to limit how many characters I put in a wavy pose. But when you're talking about people like trick-or-treating, there's only so many poses really for trick-or-treaters. So that's always something to consider. I should be a little more. Here's the thing. I don't have kids. Why does he look like Bluey? Because Bluey is very basic shapes animation. Like a lot of children's shows are. And so a lot of what makes Bluey unique in the design is the colorization. But the shape language is very much the same. They're boxy dog kind of shapes. So that's why. Not to say Bluey isn't genius, just that that is the nature of children's cartoons, is a lot of very basic shaping and a lot of very obvious shape language. So, and stickers kind of follow the same logic. But the color is a lot of what goes into character design for children's animation, especially young children's animation. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. We're just working on our first costumed capybara today, just right now. Up next is going to be a little Cappy ghost. So if anyone has any other suggestions after that, feel free to throw them in the chat and I will consider them. I do not like this nose at all at the moment. I think I'm going to start and just do a little block first. And then draw in the shapes. Might leave soon. Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you stopped by while you were able to. It happens. Happens to all of us. Put you over. Chat is a little in my hidden away. I'm gonna move it over, make it a little bigger so I can see it a little better. There we go. And I'm just gonna come down here. Thin these lines just like that. That's not too bad. Always a dragon cat sitting on a pumpkin. All of the art we're doing today is going to be capybaras wearing costumes. I'm working on a sticker design set for my shop. So that's just kind of the way it is. It's okay. That happens on YouTube a lot. At least for me. Is it possible to make a capybara in a cat costume holding a pumpkin basket? I will do my best. I'm always willing to try something. Yeah, on most of my, I stream 3 times a week, and most of my streams are product design streams. And so they have general rules associated with them, but I'm always trying to take audience participation in it. A capybara in a hamster costume. Hey, Garrett. I did last Friday do a stream where I was just taking suggestions, and we might do that again going forward on Friday nights. But if there's any one night of the week I will probably end up having to cancel off a stream, it'd be Friday. I would absolutely love it if you would sub. That would be amazing. I very much would appreciate it. That would be great. I am really trying to make a go of actually doing like legitimate YouTube-y stuff. I love cartoons. I love designing stickers. I love designing cartoon art and things like that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I think that puts us real close to 200 subs. That would be pretty awesome if we could hit that today. But thank you for coming and checking out the stream. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. I'm still not happy with how this body is working. Okay. All right. I'm going to try doing this one at a time. So one of the things I like about Adobe Fresco is the vector trim tool. And what that means is that I can draw through these lines when I'm using a vector brush like this. 198. Awesome. Although I think that means I lost a sub recently because I think I was at 198. But that's okay. That happens too. That's just life. But one of the things I like about the vector trim tool is that I can just draw through these lines like this and then come through and just clean them up without really having to do any real work. And when you draw dozens of these things a day, the has to go do my homework. Good luck reaching 200. Thank you. Have a great day. Good luck on your homework. Enjoy learning. When you draw dozens of these doodles, I wouldn't say hundreds. When I draw half a dozen images a day, every little shortcut counts. Yeah, I try to keep the stream PG-13 for exactly that reason. I don't necessarily draw cartoons and things for children, but my style does naturally kind of attract younger audiences. So I'm not saying anyone here is a child. Although if you're under 18, you are a minor. But that is why I try to keep all of the stream and the chat PG-13. All right, let's do this hat real quick. See if we can't knock out this guy and our ghost before 5 o'clock. Get them both done. All right, there we go. Just clean up this line art. My knees and back hurt. I always feel so old. When I was doing this taking suggestions Friday and I was being asked about things where I was like, man, I feel ancient. You know, the ancient games on the Nintendo DS. And I'm like, I was born 15 years before the Game Boy existed, let alone the DS. Getting old is rough. Yeah, and I feel like there's always a group to remind us that we're getting old. But that's okay. You know what? Being young also was rough, so I don't mind being old. Physically, I wish I was young, but I'm glad I'm in a better mental and emotional state than I was when I was young. But yeah, I really, really wish I could go out and do the Cabbage Patch without tearing a meniscus. That's a legitimate concern I have. A few years ago, I was just doing the Cabbage Patch in my office, and I literally tore my meniscus while doing it. For those of you who do not know what the Cabbage Patch is, it's the dance where you do this with your arms while you bend your knees and do the same thing. So I tore the tendon in my knee doing that. Just doing a little dance. Because I'm awesome. So I don't miss the days when I could do stuff like that and recover, but all right, I miss those days, but I don't miss some other stuff about being young. Like increased insurance rates. All right, we got a little old guy dressed as a pumpkin. I know he's only got one arm. I did draw the other arm in the sketch behind him. I just don't think it needs to be there. I might have to go back in and resketch it once I'm done, but you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and let's color him in. I'm gonna set this as a reference layer. Pull this back underneath this guy. And just color in his little fur color. I just stole this fur color straight off one of the capybaras in the reference art. Do the same thing with his nose. A little dark brown there. And then keep it real easy and simple with the eyes here. And then I think on the jack-o'-lantern, I'm just going to do yellow. Oops. I missed a trim. I do that a lot too. Sorry, Capybara. We'll do a little dark green for the stem. And then just some very orange for the pumpkin bits. Like that. That's not too bad. And then we will now we'll just do a little shading. And we'll do some quick shading tonight. Oh, and you turn this smoothness down. So I'm always bouncing back and forth between different levels of smoothness because the trimmers in my hand make it hard to get nice smooth lines on long planes, but also when the smoothness is up too high, you can't draw little detail stuff. So, oops, that's always a pain in the butt. Just gonna circle you in like this. Right there. Just gonna keep this going. You know, it's easier if I do it like this. Set as reference. All right, let's see. Right there. And when I do my shading on most of the things I work on, depending on how much, like if it's just a sticker or something that doesn't have a background, I don't do any kind of atmospheric stuff. So I just use a very neutral gray. Usually 80% brightness is my go-to. And I'll color that in and then set it to a multiply layer. And that's how I do all of my shading. If I'm doing something that has a bit of atmosphere to it, if it has a background, I'll usually try to do a good color match on the background for what should be the shading. Like, you know, if you're out in the world with a blue sky, then the shading has a blue colder tint to it, that sort of thing. And if you do this again in Fresco, you can set your line art as a reference layer, and then the combination of the selection tool and the reference layer makes it easy to really knock out some of the shading, because you can it will use the reference layer's lines as the breakpoint inside your area of selection. So you can just kind of real rough out a big chunk. It makes it a little faster than it otherwise might be. I'm trying to put together a couple of extra sticker packs this week, because here in Springfield on Saturday, it is Culture Fest. And the place where I have my market, Culture Fest is a big deal. There's usually something like 6,000 or 7,000 people come through. So this is gonna be a big weekend for me. So I have a lot of stuff I need to get ready for that weekend. And honestly, one of the reasons I decided to start streaming is because it gave me a dedicated 90 minutes 3 times a week to 100% have time to do art and not worry about other facets of the business. So, all right. What do you guys think? What do you think of this pumpkin bara? I think he's looking pretty decent. I am actually going to add some thickening on our lines here. I'm just gonna, this is a technique I use to just kind of get rid of any possible haloing or anything. I just kind of select everything that is inside the line art and turn it black on a background layer. And that means any place where there could have been a halo is now black. That happens. You sometimes get halos with vector reference art in Fresco. So we've got one done. So next up is going to be, we want to do a Capybara ghost, is the request from Little Apple. So we will do that next. Okay, so again, I've got his little face here. Have him, I think, lean in the other direction. I went thrift shopping for cool, easy rings that I can copy and paste in real life, so I didn't have to design and model 5 or 6 rings that would have taken me like 40 hours. Understand. I think I want to give him a more dynamic pose. So I'm going to do like a loopy pose like this. Bring his little face down like this. Have his little feet. And then what should we do with the hands on this little ghost capybara? You can definitely have him holding a little bucket, I think. I hired 4 people to come over and help me get this started this week. That's cool. Got all of your paperwork and everything in, so are you approved to be there this weekend? Did you see that we have to get there extra early this week? It's gonna be a big weekend, I think. Yep, that is true. You definitely have to do that. All right, so I'm gonna give him, bring it down here, have this hang off of him like this. He's wearing his little ghost costume. And have it come back so his head is sticking out like that. I don't want to give him the exact same ghost costume that my ghost Wawa has, so that's not too bad. I think I'm going to flare this out a little more like this. Let's see how this works. We'll see how it goes. Not entirely sold on him yet, but sometimes the process is to draw something, get it 90% of the way done, and then throw it away and start over entirely. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes that's art in life. Sometimes something isn't the way you want it to be, and you just start over. You just do something different. One little eye there. Bring his mouth back. Like I said, how? Not sure this reads as Capybara right now. I think it reads a little too doggy. And that could be an issue, I think. I tried today, but was ultra busy looking for an antique ring box and getting metal. I got all the paperwork Friday. I just need to go to Springfield and then the C Street stuff. I should say Thursday is still possible. Probably, yeah. You can do, just so you know, you can do your Springfield City business license stuff all online. You can fill out the application online and then they'll call you to do the payment. And for me, it took like 10 minutes total. So that's definitely a possibility for you. And then I'm gonna have a little hole here for his ear to stick out. Like I said, I'm not sure that this reads Capybara. Maybe because he needs to come back. That's probably what it is. Capybara have very big square heads. Not liking this at all. Come across. Let's trim that down like that. That's how we'll do that. Now let's bring this in. Just like that. That might look a little better. Looks a little better. Still not perfect. It's a little better. You know how it is. Sometimes things are weird. I'm not sure I'm going to actually end up making these into stickers because I'm not sure I like them. But you never know. Sometimes people just surprise you with what they love. I'm going to give him 2 little toes there. We'll do the opposite over here. We'll come and have 1 big toe. Like that. And then, let's see. Let's go ahead and draw in the bucket first. It's a little candy basket. Like there. And his little thumb. His hand. His 3 fingers because they only have 4 total fingers on their little toesies. 4 little beans. Although they're rodents, so their little feet are more like hands. Something like that. There, something like that. Now, if I turn this one off, how does that feel? Not entirely sure how this feels, you know, looking at it like this. I think I'm gonna split the difference between the two there, I think, is what I'm gonna try to do. Right across there like that. And then just erase that like that. Yeah, it's all trial and error sometimes. You just gotta keep doing it. Live with your things. And that's not too bad, I don't think. So we'll just come in here, turn this guy down. Let's try inking and see. Sometimes that's where the magic happens, is in the ink. We'll give him a little eye going. That could be the problem. Using way too small a brush on my inking. Fizzle eye. Boom. There we go. All right. Then we go up in here. Something like that. I want to try to straighten out his body a little more because capybaras are very blocky looking critters. So try to make him a little more boxy. Maybe like that. Also add some folds to the little ghost costume. As we come through here, give it a little more depth. Just a little bit. Don't want to overdo it. Sometimes I have a tendency to overdo things sometimes. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to bring this down around like that. Okay. And what that gives us is not what we wanted. Mouth. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure. I'm sold on this being my what I was looking for here. Not feeling like this reads as capybara enough. I was a little concerned going into this. I've never drawn anthropomorphic capybara before. All of my capybara art is just very simplified things that say like, I'm not gonna lie, I've drawn exactly 2 capybara. Well, I did a series that of like adventurers also. I only sell 2 of the drawings I do of capybara, and one of them existed entirely for the pun happybara, and the art didn't have to be much there. So, okay, I don't like these feet. I know they've got weird little toes, but I don't like the way I drew them. So I'm just going to do a little something like this. There, that's done. That's better. That's better. And then come up here and do the same thing on this side. We're just kind of give them little feets like that. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. They are kind of a lame looking animal. You're doing your best, big brown neutral acting rat. Yeah, that's they're so zen. They don't have a lot of their personality is in how zen they are. You know, there's always so chill. And that makes it hard to give them really defining traits. But I love them. They're one of my favorite animals. And if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit of a mercenary sometimes. And they sell well, so That's always a consideration. You know, as much as I love just doing art for my patrons, I don't have enough of them yet to be able to just do Patreon art. So sometimes you got to draw what's going to sell. Like this little basket. Actually, I'm pretty happy with how this little basket turned out. Okay, and then I think we'll do a little like face makeup. So we'll make it look like the distinctly indistinct. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that they're you know. I think actually, you know what? I think I just realized on this guy, I just realized what's going on, why he's not working for me. His face, oops, should come to about right there. That's what he needs. He needs a stubbier face. That's what it was. Although that line could be smoother. Let's there we go. That I think makes a pretty big difference. I think that's what one of the issues I was having with the pumpkin also is that I was making the nose too long. So there we go. That's our little ghosty bara. Let's go ahead and color him in. So we'll start with referencing this line art. And I'll do that first. Grab another brown. Add to the fur. I'm going to color him in brown on all of his parts first, and then I'm going to go in and do white makeup on the top of it so it looks like he was, you know, putting makeup on his face to make him look like a ghost still is the plan of action there. I think that'll look fun. Oops. There. A little white on his ghost costume. Let's do like a little pale yellow on his bucket. It's not really a Halloween color, but it works for me. So now I'm going to come in here. So I've got this layer. I'm going to add a new layer. And I'm going to draw in. Actually, no, we'll go ahead and like this. Oh no, I did that wrong. This layer. There we go. I was like, why does that look bad? Because it's on the wrong layer. So it's like he's got a little makeup on. And then I'll actually bring in like a little purple. Like if he was yeah, they sell those like ghost makeup kits at Halloween that have like purple, white, and black, red colors of makeup that you're supposed to use. That's what I want him to look like he's wearing. So that's the goal here. That's what I'm doing with this. And just drawing in some purple eyeliner. And I think I'm actually going to take that down a little bit more. And then we'll do just a little bit of shading. Talking about the younger crowd, they got money to made some V-Bucks. They got money to 2. I made some V-Bucks. Oh, sorry. The heart for the live emoji reactions was over the top of part of the sentence, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I always appreciate everyone who comes in and spends money in my little pop-up stop shop. And a lot of them are younger people. This guy is nightmare fuel. Oh man, he's supposed to be spoopy, not scary. He's not supposed to be scary. I've failed. I failed in my mission. I have not done what I set out to do. Sometimes though, that also happens. You know, sometimes you think you're gonna look at me like that. Why is he looking at me like that? He wants your candy, man. You gotta give him that candy, man. One more time and the bees will come. And if you don't get that reference, you are young. Enjoy. I hope you're having a wonderful, enjoyable afternoon. But if you do get that reference, it's probably time for you to make sure you're taking care of your knees. And multiply. I watch that movie daily. You watch the Candyman movies daily? Making sure that the bees didn't come. I don't know what the time period in between statements is. All right. So I hope this is what you were looking for, little apple. This is a capybara wearing a ghost costume as drawn by me. Apparently he might be a little terrifying. But old stupid horror movies, that movie was great. I liked that once upon a time we tried to invent brand new concepts in our society instead of just remaking everything. I am legitimately surprised they haven't done a remake of Candyman yet. It feels like it's way overdue for it. And I'm sure you could probably get the exact same actor to play the Candyman. I mean, they stopped making Final Destination films, so I don't know what he's doing these days. I like him. I think he's cute. I like this little dude. All right, what's our next costume we got up? I don't think I'm gonna draw Capybara in a cat costume holding a pumpkin basket. Yes, I can do that too. I was like, I don't think I want to draw a capybara dressed as a hamster. No, he died. It was always her. Oh. But I can draw a capybara dressed as a cat carrying a pumpkin basket. That I can do. Pumpkin basket, I know I can draw. So I'm going to actually start. I think I'm going to try a forward perspective. So let's go something like this. Actually, let's yeah. A little something like this. A little something like this. Eyes aplenty. square capybara head. And little ears sticking up. So how do we make a capybara dressed like a cat? Well, we can have him wearing cat ears over his regular ears. That's a possibility. Let's see. I suppose we could give him some toe beans and have him like our lion cat, right? Have him wearing little booties. So in the pack of costumed cats, I did one that was a cat dressed as a lion. And then that cat was wearing like I put bigger paws on top of his little paws, so it looked like he was like wearing Hulk fists. Did lion paws. And then let's see, you give him a little kitty tail. Would be probably a good place to start there. Give him a little cat tail. That's looking more like a squirrel tail. Maybe this isn't a good one for this position. I don't like this position. I never liked straightforward art. Never feels right for me. I like 3/4. So we'll sketch that back in, bring back that big square nose. Square it off head. Okay. You're overthinking this, Matt. You're overthinking it. So, like that. Kitty ears are triangles. We'll give him whiskers because he's pretending to be a cat. Ooh, I just had this idea. How would a capybara wear fake whiskers? Because they have whiskers. So I want him to be wearing fake cat whiskers. What if he's wearing a little headband on his nose that has the whiskers coming off of it, the same way his little headband on his head has the cat ears coming off of it. Okay. And then come down here and drawing his little body this way. Really I want to do a little more like this. That. And then give him a little belt that his cat tail could be coming off of. Like that. Then he's got one little hand coming down to hold his pumpkin basket. Like that. And we'll have his other hand coming out and holding a candy bar. Then we can just bring his little feet down. And again, put his little feet in little cat booties. So he looks like he's wearing a little cat booty on his shoes. There, like that. I like that. Animals as animals seems hard. It can be, especially if their animals are too close together. Like, it would probably be easier to draw like a capybara as a fish than a capybara as a cat, just as one potential example of like the mammals are mammals, and a lot of the things that we use to draw cartoon versions of them. The tricks are the same. That's what I was saying about like, why does this give off the same vibes as Bluey? Well, a lot of the tricks we would use are the same. And a lot of it comes down to the details in the character design to make them look different. So I'll come in here and we'll just bring in this little mouth to start with. And I'm digging this. I feel like this is a pretty cool idea. It's probably one of those things that I'll add as a detail that will be so small that no one will notice it. That's a real thing you have to consider when you're doing sticker design, is that a capybara as a hamster wouldn't work because a capybara already is a giant hamster. One of the things you have to consider when you're doing sticker design, especially, is will the art read at sticker sizes? So I'm working currently on a 4K, a 4000 by 4000 resolution image file. And that's a huge image file. Like, to give you an idea, a 4000 pixel image file at print scale is like 13 inches wide. So when you look at this, you go, this is showing this to me as if it was being printed 13 inches wide. And really, this is like, you have to look at things at this tiny little level for when you're doing a sticker. Because like these stickers are going to be at most 3 inches. So those are things you have to consider when you're doing sticker design. It really throws off a lot of the what you can do. So I'm going to draw my pumpkin in again. Little pumpkin basket. Do 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 do. Now I can do his little hand. Coming out of the side like this. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and change that hand so that it is once again a cat paw glove. Like he's wearing a little cat paw glove. So we'll come up here and let's add some volume to our basket handle, just because it makes it a little bit easier to give things shape and form when they have something thicker to go around. So and then we'll bring this up and basically make it a little glove. So he'll be wearing little kitty paw gloves because he's dressed as a cat. And then we'll do a little arm. A little back comes down. Tail coming off. I don't worry, these are not his final cat ears yet. I'm going to add the cat ears on in front of his capybara ears because I thought that would be funny. And then I'm just going to bring this down. He's looking a lot like a squirrel right now, which is okay because, again, rodents are rodents. You know, there's only so many ways you can encode a rodent when you're just doing line art. And then a little like that. Little belt buckle. All right, now let's do these feet. I was thinking pumpkin and Jack Skellington and Sally rings, and I have maple rings already, so I think that will be a whole fall thing. I think that's a cool idea. I try to avoid anything Disney because, believe it or not, Disney uses the secret shopper apps, the gig economy secret shoppers, and sends them out to places like our little market to find someone who might be possibly violating their intellectual property so they can sue them out of existence. And so I just don't even worry about fear. I fear the wrath of Disney, and I don't want to challenge it. Their little cat toes are a little cat outfit there. And then I'm going to actually pull this arm over more. I'm going to grab this and just move it, the whole art, instead of trying to fix it up. So that I can do a little cat hand with the candy bar. And I'm just going to have the candy bar wrapper open. Candy bar, the bite taken out of it. That. Little glove. Like that. And this arm can come back behind the body. Yeah, you gotta have a whole life got shut down over some Baby Yoda stuff and his Etsy. Yes, that is, especially if you're doing online. Oh man. It's one of those things. A lot of people talk about it. They're like, there are so many shops. Welcome back. There are so many shops violating the Disney's intellectual property rights on Etsy. So a lot of people are like, oh, if they can get away with it, I'll get away with it too. But the thing is, Etsy just it takes a while for Disney to catch up. And they do it in big giant chunks. So when they do, they take out like 1,000 people's livelihoods. And for me, it's just not worth the hassle of messing with it, you know? Even though I have a lot of people who are like, well, if you did this, I would buy it. And I'm like, I'm sure you would, but I would lose my business license. So I'm gonna not do that. So here, what I'm doing, like I said, I'm just bringing in and drawing the little cat ears on a headband. Do you remember me? You were here earlier today. Were you here on Friday? So I was saying pumpkin rings. Yes, pumpkin rings would be awesome. Definitely would be something that you could get into, look into. And I think I'm just gonna give this guy a little furry belly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is you were here earlier today. I was saying welcome back. You went to do your homework. Yeah, so I definitely remember you from earlier today. That I remember, definitely. I was like, I do not remember from before that, though. If you've been here before, I apologize. Okay. Does this look like a capybara wearing a cat costume and holding a pumpkin bucket? Definitely looks like he's holding a pumpkin bucket. That part I did right. The part where he looks like he's wearing a cat costume, I'm not sure. Not sure it looks like a capybara anymore. Actually, I think what I might need to do is round off this. Oops. Chin line. A capybara wearing a capybara costume. I dig it. I think I'm gonna go with this line. I'm gonna ink this now. I think it works. I could totally do a capybara wearing a capybara costume and just do a little Inception thing. What I liked, okay, I feel it looks like Bluey needs a haircut. That's I don't think it looks that much like Bluey because I don't think I'm that good of an artist. And also, Bluey's art is very specific cutout style on the shapes. With the shape language, it is the same shape language. That is, there is no getting around that. It's going to be the same shape language. They're very similarly shaped animals. So you get what you get with the shape language. I mean, it's like Howard the Duck and Donald Duck look a lot alike, you know? They're both ducks. Capybara wearing a costume of those dogs who think they are tiny little puppies but are really just polar bears. Yeah. Like a Grand Pyrenees. A Grand Pyrenees wishes it could be a lap dog, but forgets that it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Or even really, in our household, we have a miniature golden doodle and a full-sized golden doodle. And our miniature golden doodle really is a lap dog. He spends a lot of time in the lap. But our full-size golden doodle is just a little too heavy. And she wishes she was a lap dog because Chunderbutt is a lap dog. So Muppet Dog thinks she should get to be a lap dog also. And unfortunately, she's just a little too big for most laps. She's a good couch cuddler. She cuddles well on the couch. I have not watched any Bluey. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, I've seen clips and bits, but I do not personally have children. And all of my nieces and nephew are well into, if not full-blown adulthood, then late teenhood. So my childhood, like my excuses to watch shows like Bluey don't really exist anymore. So it's something that is on my to check out list because I've heard nothing but good things about it. And from what I've seen of it, I've seen nothing but good things from the clips and bits and pieces of it I've seen. So I want to check it out. I feel like as a person who loves cartoons, I really appreciate a good original cartoon and a cartoon that treats children with respect beyond just being an audience, like that treats them with as an audience that can understand concepts that are going on in their show. So I would really, I need to check out Bluey. I want to check out Bluey. I just haven't had a chance to yet. Put it on for your dogs. It is monochrome for them. Maybe a drawing of a capybara that looks like a capybara wearing a hamster on his back. That's possible. That's something we could give a shot to. I kind of like the idea of like here's where my mind goes on that, the direction it's going is I like the idea of like if it was a person wearing a costume, it would be a person dressed like a horse with a little tiny person riding them would be the concept for the costume. And that's kind of where my mind goes is if it's a capybara that's dressed like with a hamster on his back, dressed like a cowboy, riding him like a horse. My dog refuses to be on my lap. She must be held. Oh, your dog is so cute. Not trying to be rude or anything, but why do you work really hard on stuff for it to only get a few views? Everybody starts somewhere, and it grows over time. You know, it's a few views now, and it might always be a few views, but it might not be someday. And because the people who come and check it out on a regular basis are great people, and I always have a good time talking to them. And I'm going to do product designs anyway. So why not, you know? Like, I'm going to be doing these drawings anyway. Why not share them with people and have a good time with the people who want to come and hang out while I'm doing it? Also, like I said, it's a few views is more than no views. And I think that's actually something worth talking about a little bit. Because I have a lot of expertise in this, actually. So before going into freelance illustration, before deciding to go full-time as a freelance illustrator, I worked in marketing and communications. So I worked a lot in getting messages in front of people. And there's a lot of scummy practices to that I try to avoid most of the time. But I feel like one of the issues that I see a lot lately, especially as I'm talking to the younger people in my life, is this belief that it's not worth doing if you're not immediately getting success or super success. And oftentimes that success is defined in a very limited way. And that is something I think that holds a lot of people back, because not really people think they can do much. I hope you become a large, amazing, successful channel. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that's kind of where I'm going, is I think too many people let that fear of it's not worth doing because I don't have an audience hold them back. And I think that's especially true for young people these days. And if there was one thing I would encourage for anyone who is watching this is do your art, share your art, make your thing, and just enjoy the process of it. Because there's a couple of lessons I've learned since going full-time doing this. One is no matter how long you've been doing something, imposter syndrome always exists. It is always going to be there in the back of your head saying, you're not good enough, you're not doing this well enough. That is the nature of being human. You either have imposter syndrome or you have the Dunning-Kruger effect. The best way, though, to overcome that and to build some confidence and gain some confidence is in sharing the thing that you create. When you share your art, you tend to find people who see it and they go, wow, this is really amazing. You're really talented. And all you can see is the flaws in the art. All you see is where you're not where you want to be. You're not like your heroes. And you have to learn to recognize your own value. And sometimes you have to in order to do that, you have to see it through the eyes of others. Others don't, very rarely do other people see the flaws that you see. And so sharing your art can often help you overcome that. It's about the craft. It's about doing it over and over and again as you get better as you go. That's also true. Practicing is a big, huge part of things. Can you please add a little All-Seeing Sonic, my Sonic creepypasta? If we have some time, I might try to draw another one. Glad you're confident. Already read that. I learned a lot about when he talks about shadows and layers and such. Well, thank you. That's one of those places where I feel a lot of imposter syndrome. I don't do a lot of teaching actively because I don't think that I am qualified to teach. In fact, that was something I was having a conversation about shape language specifically at the market the other day, and someone started asking me about it, and we were just having a conversation, and I mentioned that I don't think of myself as an expert in art. I don't think of myself as being super knowledgeable a lot of the time. And the customer that was standing there talking to me was like, well, you surprise me because you sure sound like you know what you're talking about. And I was like, I never give myself credit for knowledge. I've been grinding for 26 years, learning every day. I'm just now getting confident enough to show people. One thing that really helped me with that was also during the pandemic. I work in communications, and so I had to do a daily show for our employees, teaching them how to do remote stuff. Someone introduced me as an artist the other day, and I have 3 businesses. It's crazy, isn't it? You deserve more. You've been working hard for 2 whole years. You need really some credit. Also, you have such wonderful wisdom. Well, thank you. I will say my channel is a couple of years old, but honestly, I haven't really tried to grow it until recently. So a couple of years ago, I did my first Sculptober, and that was put up here on the channel. But I really didn't take YouTube seriously then. So really up until like August, I was not really dedicating any time to growing on YouTube. Are you interested in different art styles? I'm always here's my statement on that is I always practice those things. I love a lot of different art styles. Something that I've really secretly, not so secretly, I've made multiple videos about it, always wanted to do was be like a grungy, inky, gothy 90s black and white ink artist. Like the Eastman and Laird Ninja Turtles. But it always kind of comes out as colorful, cartoony art, like Rise of the Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I practice those things a lot. When I'm working on product design, I stick a lot to my cartoony illustration, but I force myself at least once a week to work on a piece that is completely outside my comfort zone. I'm making a horror series with my Sonic Creepypasta. Want to watch it when it's done? I absolutely would love to watch it when it is done. Please share it. I think everyone should share their art. I've had 3 apprentices now and they're better than me. I love teaching the most base level. I'll watch any art. Oh, that's kind of a cool thought. Yesterday you hit exactly 2 years on YouTube. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I did 1 month of really dedicated Sculptober 2 years ago. And then really it was like I came back to it recently. But yeah, I'm trying new things and trying to grow, not just as an artist, but also as a person. And here's 100% honest truth. I always loved YouTube, and I mean always, like going back to like pre Google takeover of YouTube. Like I loved YouTube back in like 2007-ish. Thank you. And I wanted to make YouTube videos from all the way back then. And I have created probably a half dozen channels. And every time I've done it in the past, I have let imposter syndrome talk me out of keeping going. I've let myself convince myself that I'm not good enough and I should quit. And this time around, I am literally making a go of running a full-time business off of my illustration. And so it's part of, if I'm being completely honest, and again, talking a little mercenary here, it's part of my business strategy. And So I don't get the luxury this time of convincing myself that I'm not good enough. I have to do it. So, like I said, we all feel imposter syndrome, and sometimes you just have to force yourself through and find ways to trick yourself. So this time around, I have to do it. It has to be successful. It's kind of a succeed or starve situation. And one of the things I've learned about myself is I love when I go. So I do a weekly sticker every week at our local market that I give away for free. And I love doing that. I love giving away stickers. And I would like to be able to do that one day fully supported by the community of people who like that thing. I like that my my business model is give away stickers and hope people give me money, basically. And I'd like to one day be able to do that with support of the audience through Patreon or something along those lines. And if that means being able to do that by making videos on YouTube and getting AdSense, that's also part of it. I'm editing part 1 now. Also, my Sonic creepypasta appears IRL in my horror series when a kid enters a forest and goes deep in it. Try guess if he goes missing. I heard something hyper local. I bet he goes missing. So is your other series a analog horror? Is that what you're working on? Because I think that could be cool. I was making a joke on Friday about how kids can't appreciate analog horror because they don't know what the world was like when we actually had VHS tapes and cassette tapes. But I actually really like that like the weird world that I grew up in is a thing that people are playing with. That like the nuances of my world, my life are things that are part of your art, and that's just cool to me. I have given away 2K worth of silver in the last year in all of my practice stuff. Just keep practicing. Yeah. You don't want to know how much I've given away in stickers. It was more than I realized when I actually did the math for my tax stuff the other day. Oh, too many. That's the answer there. But I love it. And I love like if you're an artist and you do art, I recommend trying your hand at stickers. You can make them fairly cheaply. And there are a few things in this world that like match the joy of like a 2-year-old being given a 1.5-inch little circular sticker with just some random little doodle on it. That thing is like a super treasure for them, and they will cherish it. So I highly recommend, again, if you ever feel bad about your art, that is the route to go, is just throw out, give a little kid a sticker, and they will make you realize that at least in their eyes, you are the coolest person who has ever lived or ever will live. And it will make you just feel good inside. Okay. Let's put a little black in there. And I think I'm going to give him just a little bit of pink in this nose today. Little pink nose. Bloop, 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 bloop. Love it. Thanks. Now let's actually make that even more pink, because those are the cat ears. And just make sure the eyeballs there. Oh, these are supposed to be kitty gloves, so they should be gray like the kitty fur. And we'll add a little brown chocolate to the chocolate bar. And we'll give it a little red wrapper. There we go. I got a title for drama roleplay video thing. Kids goes deep in a forest. It says not to go in since something not human is lurking in there. What happens next is shocking. I'm going to point this out. I love your title. I like that your title is clickbait. I like that your horror includes the existence of clickbait. Like for me, as a person who professionally worked in marketing, the existence of clickbait is like a guilty, like I regret my contributions to it. About 300 more to figure out, and then I'm going to make a sticker. Cool. Okay. This is our capybara dressed as a cat. I think he's a little too light colored. That's too dark. I want something a little more chocolate. There we go. That's chocolatey. Just gonna tag in a little darker color like that. And let's go ahead and give him some shading. And then it is 5:30, so I'll probably have to call it a night after this one. So I'm probably not going to be able to draw another Sonic tonight. But if you come back on Wednesday, we'll do a little bit more. I do need to do some more Capybara stickers Wednesday. And then I think Friday I'll do another taking your recommendation stream. I had a lot of fun doing that. I hope you guys did too. I had a lot of fun on Friday just drawing your guys' recommendations. So I'll definitely do that on Friday, but if I have time, I'll tell you what I'll do. On Wednesday, I will do your Sonic as my warm-up drawing for the stream before we get started on any of the product design. So that's what we'll do on Wednesday to get started. I'm going to turn this off so I can see where I'm shading. Another reason I like to work my shading on a different layer is because I can go to black and white or just turn off the color, and it gives me a way to look and say, this is where the shading falls. That like looks like black and white with shading. Like 3-color is a great way to do it. I think the title should have realistic eyes somewhere in there. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, awesome. So if you are hanging out, if you had a good time tonight, I would really appreciate it if you have not, that you go ahead and give me a subscribe, give me a sub, and give this video a like, this stream a like. If you are watching this later as a recording, like some of you do, I've noticed, leave in the comment any ideas you have for a capybara costume. And we will work on some more capybara costumes on Wednesday after we warm up with a Sonic creepypasta. And then Friday night, like I said, Friday, we will be drawing your requests again. Thank you all for coming by. I have had a good time tonight. I really appreciate you giving me company while I am doodling some doodles. And there is our Capybara bamboo stick. Fish in a capybara costume. It could be. That could be easier. You never know. You never know until you try. Thank you very much. I've had a great time. I hope you've had a good time too. I really appreciate everyone coming by. Until next time, remember,